Sup flappers, welcome back to another video. So today, as promised, I always do team guide videos because nowadays I get so much fun trying out new characters with different teams as I've built up an entire army. Yes, an entire army of characters. I have every single one, and what better use to do with every single character than to find out interesting and crazy team comps in some cases. Let me tell you, Kokomi is definitely one of those characters that currently isn't doing so hot among the community, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys saying that she is amazing simply because you can put her in all these teams. No, it did take me quite a while to find some interesting teams to make her work, and I did break a few of my own rules here and there, but then again, we are here to push the boundaries of what is possible. And currently, as you see right in front of you, I do have a team with a double hydro character. Yes. Oh boy, where do I start? All right, so if you guys enjoy this kind of videos, like, subscribe. I make all sorts of videos. I have discussion videos, I have guide videos, and sometimes I make some meme videos. We need to keep the signals away from my brain so I don't get brainwashed. Don't take them seriously. Don't take me too seriously, all right? I'm just a guy on the internet spewing some of my thoughts, my opinions, and I hope this video is gonna both entertain you and open your eyes to some possibilities for Kokomi, for those of you who actually do have her. Now, let's get into the first team. This team, yes, it has double hydro, and I oftentimes do say avoid double hydro because it's currently in a very weak position. But for Kokomi, I have found that for her healing, you do need to take her to a little bit of a higher level, and you do have to put more resources into her to get more out of her kit. But stubborn as I am, I did leave her at level 70, which is Ascension 4. I did not take her to Ascension 5, and her talent levels have not been fully maxed out either. I'm trying to see for her in a healing position how well and how far she can go, and especially in this team, as you can tell with Ayaka at its center with Venti also supporting, is a freeze team. Don't worry, I'm going to be showing you guys another variation of the freeze team, so this is not the end all be all. Remember, you can of course switch out Venti for someone like Sucrose or Kazuha if you do have him. The main priority of having an Anemo character in this team along with Kokomi is really to group up the enemies. Understand that Kokomi's biggest weakness is her inability to move her jellyfish around, and also if you don't know how to properly cycle through Kokomi's jellyfish, you can actually have it time out. So your hydro application sometimes, especially before you master this character's CD rotation, is going to be quite limited, especially if you misplace the jellyfish. Forget it. So I do always urge you all to use Venti's burst first, followed by Kokomi's elemental skill. All right, so moving on from this team, let's move into the second team, which is a Vaporized team. And from the get-go, I have to tell you, this team is one of the weaker ones I have on this list. And you're going to see another team on this list that you might be scratching your head a little bit over. But let me tell you, all right, from this point on, we're going to be moving into some pretty crazy teams with some pretty crazy effects. But this team, although it is a Vaporized team and theoretically it should have the biggest and highest damage output, Yoimiya's ICD issues paired along with Kokomi's inability for consistent and mobile hydro application. Yes, mobile hydro application. Unlike Xingqiu, your hydro application does not follow your source of damage, as opposed to your source of damage has to follow her hydro application range, which being her jellyfish. So with the Yoimiya, her burst and Kokomi's elemental skill does pair together well when it works, and of course you do have Zhongli on this team along with double pyro, so this is definitely a scenario where these two kind of just work very well together. Unfortunately, Kokomi doesn't work too well with the other pyro carries. You could throw Xiangling in here instead of Yoimiya, which can work, but understand all of the other pyro units have some sort of issue with Kokomi. Let's start with Hu Tao, the obvious one. Hu Tao does not want to go above 50% HP. Kokomi's jellyfish just heals when it's on the field. You cannot avoid it, and you have to get close to hit the enemies. Hu Tao, unfortunately, is out. So, Diluc, his elemental skill knocks mobs around way too much, and his burst skill straight up knocks them all away. Diluc is out. Klee, while you can use Klee's auto cancel to have great application, at the same time she's only single target, and when she uses her E, then it also does hit enemies away, and it pushes them away. Unfortunately, that's just what all these pyro characters does. Finally, we land on, I guess, Amber and Xiangling. So let's just forget about Amber because we got Yoimiya as an option here. Just go with Yoimiya, okay? So in the case with this team, it's definitely not great. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, with the current lineup of pyro characters, they just don't work too well with Kokomi. All right, so if you really want to play a Vaporized team, this probably is one of the better variations, apart from one with Xiangling in here instead, which is kind of iffy because Xiangling will primarily be auto-attacking, which you don't have super conduct. It's just a mess, all right? It's not optimized. Go with Yoimiya. The third option we have now, holy smokes, when I was testing this team, I was pleasantly surprised. So instead of Diona here, we have Rosaria. And of course, we still have Venti and Ganyu, and now we have substituted in here. Instead of Mona, we got Sangonomiya Kokomi. Now, I call this the off-brand Morgana because it is superb when this team comes together. As you guys can see on screen, this team just demolishes and consumes everything. Nothing can move a single inch with Ganyu's wide range application along with Rosaria's central cryo application. Sangonomiya's jellyfish really just doesn't need to do much here. She just is here to apply the hydro application and continuously healing our units, and you can extend her hydro application. Essentially, if you play this one right, you can get 100% uptime on Ganyu's burst, 100% uptime on Kokomi's hydro application thanks to Venti's talent number 2, and of course you got Rosaria also acting as battery for Ganyu. It's just wonderful. Chef's kiss. I love this team. This team works so flawlessly, and it actually beats out having Mona on this team because Mona cannot get as much hydro application as Kokomi, but it also beats out having Xingqiu on the team because Xingqiu just doesn't heal enough, and for someone as squishy as Ganyu, a couple hits, sometimes you're gone, you're out, right? So it's great, and also guarantee you this has higher hydro application if you know how to cycle through Kokomi's skill than even Xingqiu. You do lose out a little bit on damage, but trust me, if you see the clip in front of you, you're not going to be missing out too much on damage. Just trust me on that one, all right? Moving on to our last team, and here it is. My goodness, I did not expect this team to work so well. I've tried different variations of Electrocharge teams, but oh my god, this team. If you guys have these characters, I understand they're all 5 stars, but I swear some of you must have been spoofed by Keqing at one point, and at this point, who doesn't have the Raiden Shogun, especially if you're playing much earlier than patch 2.1, right? So yeah, guys, this team, if you guys can see on screen, sometimes the Electrocharge just sends mobs off my screen vertically, like they're above me and they're still getting Electrocharge and I can't even hit them. It's a lot of fun, and of course, one thing you guys must have noticed going until here is that Venti is the centerpiece of a lot of these teams, if not every single one, except for this one. Venti is here. Venti is the superior version in this case for Kazuha because Kokomi, like I've been continuously saying, suffers greatly from her jellyfish placement. So Venti essentially makes that a non-issue. Just no problem, all right? So understand that, yes, it works without Venti, but you have to be much more precise with how you use your abilities, especially with characters like Sucrose. Kazuha is much better because of his short CD on his elemental skill, but Sucrose definitely is a lot more trickier to make work. However, the principles do not change. The 4-piece Viridescent Shred is phenomenal on all these teams that has Venti in them, and let me tell you guys are in for a treat if you do have this character. Once again, let me reiterate, Kokomi is not a good character by any stretch of the imagination, but in these team scenarios, she can really facilitate them to make them work flawlessly, and it's so much fun playing with her in these teams that I might try some of these teams and showcase them on some of my streams. I'm honestly, guys, I'm pleasantly surprised of what she's capable of, even at only level 70 Ascension 4 with decent artifacts, right? For all these teams, I'm running Kokomi on the 4-piece Heart of Depth because that's what I think she really demands if you're playing her to the fullest of her kit. Now, with all that said, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you all for supporting my content, and until next time, stay safe and peace.